All right, hey everybody, this is Brian. Thank you so much for joining us today for the first of our weekly webinar series. Weekly, we expect to do these fairly often, maybe not every single week, but nearly every single week. And we are excited about this for 2017. We're going to be doing a bunch of these webinars and helping you design your system and be able to really accelerate your business. So we're going to give everybody a few seconds to jump on. A lot of people are popping on right now. It takes a while to get our room filled up here, but we'll get going in just a few minutes and a few seconds actually, not even minutes. Hey, thanks for jumping on. If you're just hitting us now, make sure that you pop over into the chat box, say hi, let us know where you're from. Got folks from Missouri, Nevada, New York, and Texas, and Ohio. Awesome. And I'm coming at you from Austin, Texas today. And we are excited about this webinar. Some good stuff in here today. We're going to be talking a lot about the big concept, the big picture concept of Dani Johnson's system, which is exposing your business, involving people into your business, and then upgrading them. And a lot of times what happens, and we'll talk about this more in just a few seconds, but a lot of times what happens is that people dive in and they go straight from exposure all the way trying to get people to upgrade to the highest possible level in one day, and that just doesn't work that way. So we're going to give you some things that I think will help you a lot in your overall business development activities. Probably remove some frustration from your thought process and what's causing you stress and frustration, and hopefully give you a little more optimistic outlook on what your business can do for you and how to get there. And so over the next few weeks, we're going to be diving into more and more detail. So next time we do this, we're going to do it and break it down from the 3 steps down into Dani's specific 7 steps. And then from there, we're going to dive into each one of those 7 steps. And we'll go as deep as we need to in each one of those things. So some great stuff. And we've got some other big announcements coming up in the next couple of days. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your email box, as well as in Project 1000 on Facebook. Bunch more folks jumping on. Thank you. We've got folks from Indiana, Amanda from Downey, California. Beautiful spot. I've been there several times. We used to do a big mountain bike race up there every year. Awesome, gorgeous place. Illinois, Ontario, Canada. Fantastic. Missouri. Awesome, you guys. So we appreciate you jumping in. And we did not overly promote this event, so we've got about 400 or 500 people registered, which is pretty small for us. And we know a lot of folks are, at work or whatever right now and not able to join us live. But because we do these, because they've registered, they're going to get the replay link from us automatically, and that's really what we're doing this for. We're also going to make these available over in Project 1000. I'm sorry, not in Project 1000, on the new Smarter Networker website as well. So let me dive in a little bit. For those of you who are brand new, we want to say a special hello and welcome to you. If this is your first event that you've done with Smarter Networker, we want a special welcome to you. We're very excited to have you on board. If you haven't yet plugged into any of the resources over at smarternetworker.com or on Project 1000, please do that. There's so much great stuff there, including the world famous 30-day boot camp. This is a free 30-day boot camp, all Dani Johnson training, and it's just fantastic. So make sure you get that done. And it's a big commitment, but your business will thank you greatly, and your skill set will improve dramatically by just plugging into that free boot camp. We also have our Project 1000 over on Facebook, which is where we have about 12,000 members now, and everybody is there sharing their experiences and how they applied Dani Johnson's training to their specific business. So you can find all kinds of great things going on. No matter what business model you have, you are going to get some good help over there and be able to ask questions and get some expert advice. And it's a completely safe environment. No recruiting is allowed. We delete people and block people very quickly over there if they break those rules. My background a little bit, I've been with Dani Johnson now for about 23 years. I actually got a chance to start building home business with her when I was struggling in a traditional business. My family and I owned a bicycle shop out in Northern California that on the outside was very successful, great sales, great cash flow, very well respected in our community and in the industry. But the bottom line was we were working 80 to 100 hours a week and really keeping maybe $20,000 or $25,000 a year. And that was frustrating. And so I started looking around for other ways to make some money. And I got started in with a product that I later found out was related to a home business industry and a home business opportunity. And I got a chance to meet Dani Johnson, since she owned that company at the time, and she showed us the program and exactly how it all worked. And I got excited. I said, yes, I want to get started. And she said, we'd love to have you, Brian, but we don't want any failures in our business. And the way she said it, I was like, what are you talking about? So, what she said though, the point she was making was that you need to get some training in order to be successful at this business. And that was the biggest aha moment, because I realized I had a lot of skill, and every one of you have some skill that are going to relate directly to your home-based business. If you've been to school of any kind, you've got some skill. If you've had a job of any kind, you have some skill. If you've raised a family, if you're married or whatever it is, the bottom line is we're in the people business. And so the better we interact with people and can work with people, the better we're going to do in our home business industry. And however, I quickly found out there are some very unique things to home business that you cannot learn anywhere else. The interesting thing about our industry is that basically we are leading a volunteer army. We're building the army and we're leading that army. And what this means is that it's going to be something where, we need to get people into our opportunity, get them excited about what they see, of course, all that. But then how do you get them out of bed every morning and get them motivated to go out and do something? They don't have to do anything every day. They can just use the product or whatever and not do anything to actually move their business forward. So how do you keep people involved and moving forward and excited about doing that? And those skills really are not found in many other places. It's not going to be found in a traditional business where you're paying that person to show up every day and your expectations are very high of that person. In our industry, you don't have that same leverage. So how do you get those people to move forward? And so we'll be talking a little bit about that today. But that was a skill set that I did not have. And there was many others as well. But so when I went to this training, it was really a game changer for me. It's called First Steps of Success. You probably heard of it. We do these every 6 to 8 weeks or so. And such powerful training. I can't even, it's one of those things you just have to experience it. And that's actually our slogan now is you just have to experience it, because to try to describe it is almost impossible. You're going to get everything you want out of it, plus so much more that you just can apply to all areas of your life. And one of the unique things about Dani is that she believes in truly balanced success. She's not going to tell you to go and sacrifice everything else in your life to grow your business. Even for a short period of time, that does not work and does not create the fruit that you really need to get a long-term success in your business. Now, after all, most of us are in this industry to build a residual income, and that does not happen overnight. It does not happen in 90 days. It does not happen, and even sometimes in a year. In my case, I came out of my first training. I went to work, took some of those skills applied to my bicycle shop, which helped a lot, made some improvements there, but also I was able to start this home business with very minimal amount of time, literally about 10 hours my first month. Is all I had. I could carve out 15 minutes here, half an hour over here, whatever it was, but it was a very small amount of time. But I made over $2,000 from my first month's work, which in 10 hours, which was fantastic. It was really some of the most important money I'd ever earned, because it showed me that there was something else I could do, and there was hope, and there was another way. And so I wish I could say my rise to the top was just easy and super fast. It definitely was not. Lots of ups and downs, especially my first year. Had some good months and some very, very bad months. But the thing was that the thing I did that I later learned was really smart was I stayed plugged in. Every time Dani was doing a conference call or a live presentation or a training event or whatever, I was there. I brought people with me as best I could, and My first year made about $12,000, which was pretty awesome as an extra income. My second year doubled that, about 25,000 bucks. But most importantly, over this first year or 2 years, is I really learned Dani's system for doing this business, and later realized that this is a unique system that creates an unlimited amount of leads. It creates a lot of revenue for a lot of people very, very quickly, and can truly be done in 10 to 20 hours a week as a serious person, and even less than that if you don't have that time. And so that was the best part about it. It wasn't an 80 to 100 hour a week gig. It didn't have to be to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. And so my third year, our business really took off because we plugged some really high quality people into a training system, into a business model that allowed things to duplicate quickly. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, is the big concepts of Dani's system. It wasn't because I was so awesome. It was because we found some people that were better than us, that had more drive, more skill, they already brought more to the table. They just needed the hidden secrets, and they would go off and do crazy great things. And this catapulted our business to about $250,000 to $300,000 a month in sales. And that gave us a very significant income every single month, and it grew to about $3 million a year in revenue for our business, total sales for our business. And so you can imagine our paychecks were pretty significant. And the great thing was we were able to take some time off and actually ended up marrying the woman that recruited me into this business, but that's a different story. But we've got two beautiful kids today. We've been married for a little over 20 years, and it gave us time to be able to take some time off when we had kids and still collect a nice check. It gave us time to, really experience things that most people don't get to experience without that residual income that our industry promises, but unfortunately doesn't always deliver. And so today we're going to be talking about this. And how to make this work for you. I've got the privilege today to work with Dani Johnson again, running Smarter Networker in the marketing for Destiny Global. And I am very, very excited about where this company is headed and the amount of people that we're getting the message out to. So again, once again, before we dive into this, thank you everybody for joining us. And if you're having any issues with your feed, it's definitely going to be on your side. So what you want to do is make sure that you turn off all other internet using applications like Facebook and other social media stuff. Anything that's streaming audio or video, turn all that off, and make sure you've got a nice clean. In fact, turn off your cell phones even if you're on a home Wi-Fi network or something like that, because we are broadcasting at a very, very high rate of internet right now. So it's definitely going to be on there. There's also a refresh button down at the bottom of your screen, and if you get stuck, whatever, you just hit that, and you will be able to bounce back and get back onto the webcast. So thank you guys for joining us again. We're really excited to have you on board. If you're just joining us and you haven't yet said hi in the chat box, please do that. We'd love to hear from you. And we're excited about this event today. And I'll give you a nice announcement at the end that you're going to love as well. So we've got two big things to announce for you at the end of our webinar today. So all right, let's dive in. What I'm going to be doing is sharing you a PowerPoint that we put together to kind of illustrate what we're talking about. But before we do this, what I'd like you to do, I don't know if you guys can see this or not on the screen. Maybe you can. Basically, take a piece of paper of some kind. I just have this little card right here, and write up on the top, expose, involve, and upgrade, and then give yourself some space down below to be able to fill in those blanks. The reason is that if you look at Dani's system, it's really broken down into these three concepts. Exposing your business. The number one thing you have to be doing every single day, right, is telling people that you exist, and in some way getting in front of new people. And so this is our number one task. And so often what happens is when you first start in a business like this, you start off with nothing else to do. All you have to do in your business is to expose your business, tell people about, find a new customer. That's it. There's nothing else to do because you don't have a business yet. You don't have a team of people yet. You don't have sales going on yet. You don't have anything. So how do you do that? We're going to talk a little bit about that today and give you some tips. But what I want you to be doing is writing down, what do you have in these three areas? What do you have in the exposed part of your business? What do you have in the involved part of your business? What do you have in the upgrade part of your business? So exposing your business is going to consist of two things. It's going to consist of actually three things, I guess. It's the initial contact, making contact with people. Now, there's lots of ways to do that, and we'll share with you a little bit about that. The next thing is about prospecting. What are you saying to those people in order to get them to take a look at your opportunity or your products? And then the third thing is presenting. So those three things, presenting your opportunity, your products, or both, are the three parts of exposing your business, showing them that there is something out there, and finding people to talk to. The next thing is involvement. And that's really, it could be things like, product trainings, business trainings, recognition events, barbecues on the weekends. I mean, all kinds of ways that you can involve your people in your business. And this is a key component that so many people leave out. And then the third thing being upgrade. And I'm not necessarily talking about upgrading them to the top package in your business, although that is a symptom, a result of this, but it's really upgrading their mindset. It's really getting people to take a look at the business opportunity and look around and look at those people that are out there making $100,000 a month or more, and realize that this is not just some little side business that maybe is going to give you a couple $100 a month or some discount on the product, even though a lot of people start businesses for that reason. But upgrading their mindset from that level to going, you know what? This might be a better way for me. This might be something I could do, make some real money at. This could actually replace a full-time income for me, that kind of thing, or even build, for wildest dreams, make those possible, as you hear those stories all the time. So we want to upgrade their mindset, and from there we want to upgrade their commitment level. That's more than just, saying your commitment is like, okay, I am going to go build a business of this size, and I'm going to take the steps required. Then going into upgrading their activity level, what are they actually doing day to day? And then from there, you'll see the results come about that are going to give you the kind of income that you're looking for. And that's how you build leadership, really, in our business. It's not going out there and necessarily finding leadership, although that can be done. Is most of the time it's taking average everyday people and upgrading their commitment level, and allowing them to go out and do amazing things. You hear this almost all the time in the big success stories out there, is that I was just an average guy. I had a regular job. I just was doing this thing, but I was unhappy. And over the next year or so, I started really working, and this is what happened. And so this is because average, ordinary people can be created into leadership and developed into leadership in our industry. So what we're going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you here. Let me pull this down over there, go over here. This is our basic presentation for you today. We're just going to walk through some stuff for you, but I want you to keep an eye on the slides, and so you can kind of visually see where we're going with this kind of thing. First thing you want to be doing, we talk about, is exposure. Now, this is something that you will always be doing. This never, ever ends. And like I mentioned earlier, is that sometimes people get started in this business, and the only thing they can do is expose their business because nobody knows that they're in business yet, right? But soon after, what happens is that pretty soon you get 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 people in your business, and before you know it, people are asking for help. They're asking you to do things for them. They're asking for them to do parties or conference calls or whatever, and they have all these questions and all these things, and pretty soon you get pulled away from this, and you start doing less and less of this. So this is just a reminder that this part of your business is supposed to happen every single day. If you're serious about your home business, you should be talking to people every single day. My daughter, who's 16 years old, has started a photography business, and she is going door to door knocking on doors. Yesterday, she knocked on 51 doors, and she presented her photography proposal to 25 people. She got 4 contacts from that. and she's following up with those people. She also goes door to door to businesses. Her and her business partner went and talked to about 40 businesses a couple days ago. So these guys are very actively going out and exposing their business. And my question to you is, how many did you talk to today? When we were building business with Dani, we had actually had offices set up, and we did 8 business presentations a week. That means, and each one of those presentations, we did one on Monday night, two on Tuesdays, one in the afternoon, one in the evenings. I'm sorry, 1 o'clock every day. We did a business presentation during the week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we did a business presentation in the evening, and then Saturday morning, we did a business presentation at 10 a.m., followed by a Saturday training. So at 8 business presentations a week, and our plan was that we wanted to have 10 guests at each one. That's 80 people per week actually looking at our business. Now, how many people do we have to talk to every day in order to get those 10 people in the seats? It was a lot. You might be talking to 100 people per day, and we'll talk a little bit about in this one, as well as future webinars, on how to find those people to talk to. But it wasn't maybe I'll talk to this friend tomorrow, and maybe talk to 1 or 2 people every other day. That's not going to get it. You might get lucky and find somebody that does something pretty awesome, but that's pretty rare. But you want to be talking to a lot of people and exposing a lot of people. So whatever your commitment level is, whether you're working 5 hours a week, 80% of that time should be spent on just this activity, exposing your business. If it's 1 hour a week, then 80% of that time. If it's 40 hours a week, 80% of that time is spent on exposing your business. Now, here's what happened. Now, we'll go to the next slide here real quick. And that usually what happens is you expose your business, you get them to take a look, you show the presentation, and your goal at the end of that presentation is to upgrade them to the top package, right? It's to get them into the business, get them, totally 100% committed, all that kind of stuff. Well, the problem with that is that they're a little overwhelmed at that point. They probably really haven't followed along with what you've just shown them all that well. Most of the time, people are excited about what you're offering, but they want the dream, but they have no idea what it's going to take to get that dream. And so you really can't expect them to always jump to the top level. That's really a function of them being involved in your business. And so we want to add the involvement component into this. This is really critical. So the process that somebody goes through to go from a prospect to a business builder is done through the involvement process. Now, involvement would be things like a Saturday training, a conference call, a 3-way call with a leader, checking out your website and getting some information about their new business they just started, using the products as part of involvement. All these different things, recognition events, big monthly trainings, big corporate events. First Steps to Success is actually an involvement tool that you can use, plugging them into the free 30-day boot camp. All of this is involvement that lets them shows them not only what it's going to take to be successful, but gives them the tools they need to go out and do something with it. It's during this process that they make the decision that they're going to go to work. Early on, they're going to buy the dream through the exposure process, but in this part of the thing, they're going to make a decision to go to work. So let's talk a little bit about each one of these steps as we move forward here. Now, back to exposure. We want to dive into this. This includes initial contact. Talking to people. How do you make that initial contact? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do this, and one of those is through the list of names, list of resources. These are people that you know. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people do everything they possibly can do to avoid this step, talking to the people that they know. And I want to tell you right now that this is, you're robbing yourself and you're robbing them of the greatest opportunity you've got. Maybe talking to these people purely turns out to be practice for you, and that's totally fine. But most of the time, what we're finding is that some of your best business builders are going to come from the people that you already know. Because very likely the same reason that you started in a home-based business, the same dissatisfaction that you might have in your life in some way is the same thing that they're experiencing. So many times you've heard the term Shoot, I lost my term. Birds of a feather flock together. So birds of a feather flock together. Most of the time, if you look around to your five closest friends, and you average out everybody's income, probably your income, right? So every one of you is probably in some way dissatisfied with something. And so the same thing that got you excited about the opportunity you're in is the same thing that will get them excited about it. And so very often the people that you know are going to be your best place to start recruiting. Now, how many people do you know? People say, oh, I don't really know that many people. That's a lie. You know a lot of people. In fact, social scientists years ago did a study. This is like, we used this study 20 years ago, but they basically determined that by the age of 25, you know over 2,000 people by face or by name. No, so that means you may not know them, really closely. They may not be your next door neighbor, your sister, or whatever, but they're going to be people that you know. Maybe it's the person that you always go through the checkout line at the grocery store, and you really don't know their name, you don't know them that closely, but they are a contact that you have. Maybe you've got a pizza delivery guy that comes to your house once a week or something. I don't know, but all those kinds of things do count, and those are some of the places you're going to find some of your best possible recruiting opportunities is right in there. Number two, we have is something with our flyer program. This is something that we do. We'll talk about more in future webinars, but you can also get more information about this over at smarternetworker.com. This is the very best way, in my opinion, with the exception of home parties, to generate leads. And this is where people are calling you because they want what you're offering them and they're local to you. So you can actually sit down face to face and meet these people, and they're calling you. It's like them walking into your retail store and saying, I want what you have. Show me what you got. So it's a really cool thing. Dani's 3-meeting plan, another phenomenal way to make initial contact with people. This is where you do a series of home presentations. And again, we'll dive into this in the future. There's also plenty of training available in some of her CDs on this program. It's the best way of building business, the fastest way, especially if you have a product-focused company, a product-focused opportunity. I believe in my heart that this is probably the fastest, easiest way to build business. Dani's 3-meeting plan. It is not is much more than you think it is. It's not just a series of home parties. It's a really truly a way to generate unending leads, as well as to do a lot of product sales, make some money, making for yourself and your newest people. And it's actually an involvement tool that you can use for people that are not totally on board yet. Generating leads or buying leads actually is another way to deal with initial contact. And there's ways you can do that. We work with a company called EarnPro Leads, which actually creates a Dani Johnson, like a lead that's been introduced to Dani Johnson through the process that they go through to become a lead online. And so these are really high quality leads that already know who Dani Johnson is. And that works out really phenomenally well. So there's lots and lots, and social media is another way, of course. And a lot of people go straight to social media, huge mistake. Many times people do not have a clue as to how to do social media properly, and they blow a ton of people out of the water by doing ridiculously bad posts about their product or their opportunity. And so social media is a great place to make friends, build relationships. It is not a good place to sell your product. And if you're trying to just sell product online or recruit online, you're going to have all kinds of problems with that. It's definitely not the way this works. Our business is a relationship business, and social media is a great place to fish, but it's not a great place to sell. And you can hear a lot more about that in the trainings over at smarternetworker.com. as well. Okay, prospecting. This is where you are actually talking to people. Now you've got your lists of people, you've got all your connections of people, you've got all these places you can connect with people through the initial contact phase, but now it's actually talking to them and inviting them to take a look at your business opportunity. And the way we recommend you do this is through scripts. Scripts will give you a ton of ability to duplicate and grow your business faster than ever, because you will not be relying on your personality, which you may have a phenomenal personality, be totally capable of talking to people all day long and getting people excited and having them go check it out. But I'll tell you something, the person you recruit may not have that ability. In fact, because you're so good at this, you may blow people out of the water, because in their their mind, they might be saying, I have to be as good as Sally to be able to do this business. And if that's the case, you're hurting your business by not using scripts. By using scripts, you're using the exact same phrases and words every time. It's duplicatable. Your newest person can read a script as well. And my first experience with this was horrendous in some ways, because I came out of my first training and I got excited about doing a home presentation, and the presentation was at Tuesday at 6 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock I hadn't called anybody because I was terrified. And my sponsor came to me and she said, you know what, you are a coward, Brian. And that motivated me enough to get me off my butt and start making some dials. I made 9 phone calls at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Tuesday. I read the shortest script I could find, and it sounded like I was a robot. I was calling my best friends, and 8 of those 9 people showed up a couple hours later at my house. So the scripts work great, even when you're not good at it. Even if you're brand new at it, that's what they're for, is to be able to get people either increase their skill set immediately without them having to try to figure out what to say and try to sell them on the phone in the first call. It's not a good way to go. And as I got better with the script, I still use that language. I still use those scripts, but it became much more natural. It didn't sound like I was reading a script and like a robot. But even if you do sound that way, it works great. So, all right, past scripts. Now, and so in the exposure part, I want you to be writing down, like, what do you have in your system currently that handles initial contact? How do you make initial contact with people, new people? And then how do you prospect? Do you have scripts or not? If you don't, you got to get some scripts. And of course, you can get the script books over at Smarter Networker. And then you need to invite them to something. What do you invite them to? And whether that's a live conference call, a home presentation, a video conference call, or just a video recording presentation of some kind, what is it that you are inviting those folks to? This is important that you have a plan for this, because you need to know where you're taking people, and there's like a roadmap to success. So you need to know what your roadmap, what's the next step for each person, and you always have to keep that in mind. So if you've gotten them through the first 2 or 3 steps, you need to be promoting their 4th step to them. And we'll talk about this a lot more in next week's webinar when we go through the 7 steps of that. The next thing you want to dive into is presentations. What is your presentation? What are you inviting them to? If it's a live event, great. Who's going to be the presenter? How are you promoting that presenter to your new prospect? These are important things to get the most out of it, but your presentation needs to, in my opinion, show everything to everyone. You should not be making the decision on if this is a product person or someone who's interested in products or someone who is interested in business. This is not your decision to make. It's theirs. Your job is to show them everything and then let them choose what they want to do. I believe even with the product-focused companies. Now, a lot of the product-focused companies start off by getting people in as a customer, and then the company does some work to help them upgrade into some sort of a business after they've had some success with the product. And that's a great way to do it. It's a little bit slower, but it creates a good, solid customer base. So I'm not saying to change your system, but I am saying that don't be afraid to show people the business opportunity, because there are a lot of people that look at product companies and say, you know what, I'm really not into that product like I was when I started. When I got started, I had good results with a particular product, but the core product for that company was weight loss. I didn't need to lose weight. I didn't need to use that product. I didn't understand, the need for it, and it wasn't exciting to me. However, I did get excited about the financial opportunity, and I did understand there's a gigantic weight loss market in the United States that I could tap into. So that made sense to me, where the product itself would not have gotten me excited. So that was what got me started. So, but the reason that I saw the product and the business is why I got excited about going into the business. And then the presentation also needs to be duplicatable. You should not be, or your leader should not be, the only person that can do the presentation properly. It should be simple, outlined, and easy to do. And you can find an outline for one of Dani's presentations over on our blog at Smarter Networker. Just search for great presentation in the blog search bar, and you will find a outline along with a bunch of other material for Dani Johnson's presentation outline and script. Again, there's many more tools and ways that you can improve in presenting by using the tools available at Smarter Networker. So this is some of the stuff we wanted to cover on this. Now let's dive into the involvement part a little bit. Involvement is super important and it's usually overlooked. In fact, my opinion is that this is where the magic is. Exposure is all about working the numbers. Exposure is all about talking to as many people as you can, getting better at inviting people to things, getting better at your presentation so that your conversion rate, let's say you talk to 100 people and you invite all of them to a presentation, and let's say 10% come to your presentation. So now 10 people are sitting in a room somewhere and or whatever, and let's say 3 of those people start in your business. So that means you've got a total of 3% conversion from initial contact into business builder or customer. That's awesome, actually. You can make $1 million a year doing just with those numbers. But what if you can improve those numbers? And so that's what exposure is all about. It's about your activity and getting better and better at that skill of recruiting and prospecting. Now, involvement's a little different. Involvement is more about it's always a way to upgrade somebody's mindset, and it's a way to upgrade their understanding of what they have in their hand in the business opportunity. And unfortunately, people overlook this and they say, well, okay, now you've seen it, what do you want to do? Let's go make $1 million, whatever. And their commitment level may not be there. They may be committed enough to give you a few $100s to try out the product and to take a look at what you've got, but most likely they're not ready to go out and put 20 hours a week of work into their business. And so sometimes this involvement tool, most of the times, it's there to resell people. It's there to get them to see the bigger picture. It's for them to see other people's successes. It's several ways that you want to be focused on when it comes to involvement. And one of those is training. Now, training is often looked at as a key thing that everybody needs to know everything about the products, for example. And so you dive right into product training. That's about the worst thing you can do. People say, oh, we got to get people into understanding the compensation plan. That's the second worst thing you could probably do, is diving into the details and the information about all the products, because it just doesn't matter. Yeah, of course, you want to get into that information for your own understanding and your own conviction and have a little bit of a basis for us, but you're never, ever going to have enough information in your head to answer every single question that comes down the road for you. But training is designed to build your belief in the business. So training is going to be more about the system that you have, the tools that you have to go out and be successful, the things that take away the need for great skill and put it onto a system. Now, one of the things we talk about all the time is that you personally are not duplicatable. There's not many people out there that can do the same thing that you do day in and day out. And build their business. But what is duplicatable are the systems. What is your business system? That's what you should be training on. Not so much the information about the products, the ingredients, all that junk, or the compensation, this percentage, if you do this and you do that, you get another percentage over here. That stuff's important, but believe me, people will do that on their own. They will go look at that stuff, whether you tell them to or not. And that's okay. Your job is to train people on the system, because the system is what encourages people. They believe that the system works. They may not believe in their own ability that much. So if you can get them more and more convicted on how good your system is, then you're going to have so much more success as people start believing in the system, sometimes more than they believe in their own abilities. Another place for this that you can use for involvement is recognition. Now, this is the most important thing you can do for a new person, especially, is to get them plugged into a recognition event where they see other people's successes. The reason this is critical is because they're going to relate to those people. They're going to say, wow, that person's just like me. They're a stay-at-home mom and looking to make an extra $500 a month. And look, now they're making $2,000 a month. Wow. Or that's a business professional who had almost no time and figured out a way to work just 10 hours in a month, make $2,000. I want that. So recognition, not even if it's their recognition, but recognizing other people is really critical in building the belief that the system works and that if they can do it, I can do it. That's what you want there. The other thing that's critical here is that you do, in fact, recognize everybody at these events. Now, this should be really a weekly event of some kind, and you personally know more about what's going on in your personal business than any other part of the company. The corporation that you work for does not know that Sally, your personal recruit, your neighbor, went out and talked to 10 people and got 0 people to say yes. They don't know that because it doesn't hit the reports, right? So you want to be able to say to recognize Sally for the courage that she had to step out of her comfort zone and go mess it up and talk to 10 people and get no one to say yes. That is a huge step in the right direction, and no one will recognize it because no one sees it except for you. So who's going to recognize it? You must do this. And this is a critical component to involvement. It's encouraging people. Just talking to my daughter, she's doing this, I'm encouraging her because what she is doing right now, stepping out, talking to people she doesn't know, is something that most people don't do. And that's why they fail at this business. She's 16 years old and she's already talked to probably 150 people over the last 2 weeks, face to face. She went out and knocked on doors, went to businesses, handed out their business card, she's in photography, so she's taking pictures of people's businesses, giving that picture to them as a free gift for talking to them. And it's all already formatted as a Facebook cover photo. So now they can upgrade the look of their Facebook social media presence and for free, and it reminds them, hey, wow, this girl could come in and take some pictures of my business and my products, and I could post those on Facebook, and that's what she's selling is photos that you could use in social media. And so she's just nailing it, and it's really awesome to see her walk through the process of learning. And she's talked to about 150 people. She's got 4 or 5 strong prospects right now, and she hasn't yet closed a sale from these activities, although she has done several photo shoots for other clients. But this is a new part of her business that she's developing and taking her time. But I know for sure as this starts to happen, it's going to take off just like it will in your business. As soon as she gets the confidence, as soon as she closes her first new sale from this activity, she's going to know exactly what to say to the next person, and more sales are going to start falling like dominoes. So it's pretty awesome. Next thing we want to include in the involvement part is the product and service. Especially if you're a product-focused company, getting somebody some success by using their products is critical. If you're a weight loss company, if you're an oils company, if you're a technology company, if you're anything that has product focus, you want people using that product, and you want to give them recognition for hitting a milestone. Even just using the product every day for a week is going to give them an experience that they didn't have the prior week, and it's something you want to recognize their consistency, their commitment to their health, or whatever it might be. And this is really important that you include all of this in your involvement stuff. And then the last thing is business success. This, I cannot tell you how important this is. And now people look at this the wrong way. They look at business success as part of the upgrade process. Is not. The business success is part of the involvement process. And this is why Dani's 3-step system or 3-meeting plan is so incredibly powerful, is that if you can get somebody to go from, a prospect saying yes to getting started in the business, or not even getting started in the business, this is where the magic happens right here. If you've got somebody who says, no, I don't have the money, most of you will say, okay, well, when you get the money, give me a call, or I'll check back with you in a couple of weeks, something like that. That's about the worst thing you could do. The reason they need your business is to make money. They don't need to spend money. They need to make money. So what if you were to do a home presentation for them, have them invite 10 of their friends that you don't know, you sit down and do that presentation, you get 3 or 4 of those friends to sign up and buy a product. Now your new prospect who hasn't even signed up in the business yet has just upgraded their commitment level, has just made a few bucks, and you can say to them, hey, Sally, you did an awesome job of getting some folks here in the room for me. 3 of them want to use the product. 1 of them is pretty serious about looking at the opportunity. Do you want to make that commission, or do you want me to make that commission? And of course, they're going to want to make it, and they're going to be able to use that commission to get themselves started in the business. And more importantly, they have seen the business work. This is what's so critical about this, is that they get to see it work. Now, even if they've already invested in the opportunity and started off, let's say, a $500 package, it's even more important that you help them get started in the business. This is really a critical thing, because if they don't get success, usually within the first few days even, you will not have that person stick around very long. Their negative thinking is going to start tearing them down, and they're going to doubt themselves, and that will cause them to not do anything. Our goal with every new person that took a look at our business was to help them make $100 in their first 48 hours. And how we did that was through home presentations, having them bring people to our meetings, and vice versa. So if we did a home party at their house, I wasn't there alone. I had my own people with me. And many times they would come to a party or a presentation in our office or whatever it was. They would bring people to that. If they weren't committed enough to have their own, or maybe their living situation didn't allow that, they'd come to another person's presentation with guests. And they saw the business work. And that was the best part about it. And so involvement is so critical to long-term success and to upgrading their mindset. Now let's dive into the upgrade section. This is where it gets exciting. This is why people jump into this, but you're not upgrading them to the top business package so you can make money. That's not what you want, because the short-term gain of a few $100s off of a business package is nothing compared to the long-term potential that you could get by somebody who goes out and has massive success in the business. My wife and I still to this day, 23 years later, have a paycheck coming in every month from a customer base that we built 23 years ago. And part of that is because we had people come in who got so serious about this business that they became top producers globally for the company we were building with. And we built a massive customer base. In fact, over 14,000 people at its peak, and in many countries around the world. And that customer base still pays us a great check every month. It's amazing. So anyway, the commitment is one of the things you're upgrading on. We already talked about how this happens. If you go out and make some money, your commitment is much higher now. You've seen it work. You believe in it more. Your commitment is much stronger. You're also upgrading people's mindset. In fact, mindset should really be first. In this little scenario, you're upgrading people's mindset. They're seeing the bigger picture to what it is you are, what they actually have in their hands. A lot of times people start off and they say that they see this great product, or they see, some people, they've heard some stories of people making some money or whatever, but they really don't understand the power of what you've just given them. You've given them $1 million opportunity, and they may not know it yet. They may not completely understand that, and they don't not even care, because their immediate need is $200 a month or $500 a month or $1,000 a month. They're not even thinking past that. So as you start upgrading their mindset, that will change their commitment level. And their commitment level will ultimately be the thing that increases their activity level. Now, when their activity level increases, that is when you're on the right path. If somebody gets started in their business, they use the products for a while, they plug into some of your involvement trainings and different events you've got going on, and now you start seeing them talking to people by themselves without your help. That's when you've got somebody who's committed. Their activity level increases. That's because their mindset has improved, their commitment level has improved, and now their activity level is improving. And this is such a critical component to upgrading them. And really, at this point, the thing I should put here is not so much top package, as it should be results. You will start seeing, as people move through mindset upgrades, commitment level upgrades, activity level upgrades, the big upgrade they're going to have is results. They're going to actually, number one, know that they need to be at the top package so they can collect all the commission available, because now they're going to work. Now they want to make some money and they don't want to leave any money on the table. But you're also going to see them talking to people. You're going to see them, making sales on their own. You're going to see them bringing people to the events. You're going to see them closing things by themselves, closing sales on their own. That's when you know your involvement stuff is working, is when you start seeing people upgrading themselves into workers. Workers are much, much, much more valuable in most cases than what we would call a leader in our home business. Many times leaders aren't. They think they are. They're acting like it. They're talking like it, but they're not actually doing anything. And a worker is so much more valuable, especially as your business is developing and growing, than anything. Leadership, yes, is important, and leadership by example is what's really important. So when you find people that are willing to work and not listen to all the press that they might be getting and start believing all that, but they stay focused on what they're doing, that's a leader. And so upgrading yourself into these different areas is really what we want to talk about. And this will ultimately drive people into the big events that you have with your company, plugging in and learning leadership at places like First Steps to Success. In fact, if you're going to get a lot more leadership development at an event like First Steps to Success than you will at a corporate event. The corporate events in your company are fantastic. And what they do is they build belief in what you're doing, where your company's going. It builds belief in the ability to do it, the system that you have. It builds belief in your product line and the leadership and the corporate executives, all that kind of stuff. You leave that event excited, motivated, and believing that you're in the right place at the right time. That's what it's for. There's no possible way, however, that they can teach you exactly how to do the business in the 2 or 3 days, because they've got recognition to do. They have to launch a new product or two. They've got to give you your next bonus to run on or next contest to run on. So there's so many things that are happening at these big conferences. They're super awesome and powerful, and you should go to them, but you're not going to gain the knowledge and the training that you need to truly go out and build a huge business. And that's why you need to plug into something like a First Steps to Success, or even the 30-day boot camp and Smarter Networkers, where you're going to find that kind of information on how you move forward. And that's what we are been hearing. So yes, go to your corporate events, but definitely put some First Steps to Success on your agenda. All right, I think that is it for our PowerPoint. Let's take a look. Oh, here we go. A lot of people are asking, where do I get more information on this? Where do I get Dani's presentation of this? And it's basically in this product, Expose, Involve, and Upgrade. This is the involvement tool that, or the product tool that you can use to get all of Dani's detail on how she did this. 2 powerful CDs, and this is some great, great training that you can dig into. I'm going to switch off of here it is. So this particular product right here is the one that you want to be getting your hands. Now what we've done is, this product is $49, I think, $50, something like that. And there's $5 or $6 in shipping on that. What we have done, if you use the coupon code INVOLVE, it's going to knock $5.75 off, which is the shipping charge. So you're going to get this for free shipping, basically saving you 10 or 12% on the total product. And if you don't have this in your library, you've got to get this, because this is the overarching program for Dani Johnson and her tool. So you can, over on the right-hand side of your screen, let me bring it up. There we go. On the right-hand side of your screen there, you can click on the details button. That will open up a new window, so you won't drop from the webinar, and you'll be able to see some more information. Over there, there's also some sample audio from this training, so you can actually listen to some of it, and you will love it. It's going to be a powerful training for you. It's going to help you stay focused and on track. It's going to help you stay, keep things moving in the right direction. You listen to this once a week, once a month. Keep yourself moving forward. Fill in the blanks that you might have in your business. You may or may not have all the involvement tools that you need right now in your business. You may not have a place to take the people, a proper system to take the people through. So you want to make sure this is going to give you the overall outline for that. And it's a great tool to have in your arsenal. and we're going to save you a few bucks. The only way you can get that is when you go to checkout, use the coupon code INVOLVE, and just type in INVOLVE all lowercase, and that will knock off some money from that tool. But this thing really should be more around like $100 to $200 product, in my opinion. The content is so valuable that it's really a great tool to have for yourself over there. So if you go, James is asking what's the code again. It's INVOLVE. INVOLVE, just the word involve. And sorry about that. I guess it's not showing up on the screen right now, but yeah, just type in that word involve, and you will be able to knock some money off that product. And I know for sure you're going to absolutely love what you get from this particular product training. It is super powerful and super exciting. So if anybody has any questions, we're going to open this up to some questions right now. We always do this at the end of our webinars. We've got a little bit of extra time here, and we've got one more big announcement for you as well. The first one was the product code for the discount on this thing. But if you've got any kind of questions, type those into the chat box, and we'll give you a few minutes to do that, and we will be happy to answer any questions you might have about your system, possibly, or you know, any of the components that you might see that you think you need in your program. And again, if you take this card that you started right here and kind of fill it in, and make sure that what you're starting to do is design your system. If you don't yet have a system, or maybe your system isn't complete, or maybe you don't understand your system yet. A lot of times you're in a business that has a great system, but you may not understand what that is. So this outline for that, after the next webinar, you're going to have a much more detailed version of it, where you can actually say, okay, these are the 7 steps I want to take somebody through, and you're going to know exactly where to take somebody to the next thing. Don't see any questions coming in. That must mean I did just such an amazing job that nobody has questions. That's awesome. Man, I am amazing. But if you've got questions, type them in there. One last big announcement is that we have a webinar coming up on March 15th. Today is March 9th. And on March 15th, Dani Johnson is going to be doing a live event on this platform, the same platform, a webinar style event on Wednesday night, next Wednesday, that is going to be about prospecting. And this is, if you're a home business entrepreneur, you want to be at this event, believe me, we're going to let you know about it very soon, probably starting on Sunday evening. You guys are the very first people we have told about this, with the exception of the First Steps to Success last weekend. And I know you're going to love this particular event. It's every time we do this, people just are blown away at what they learn, and they're just clamoring for more, because they just realized how much work, how much improvement they need to make in their prospecting. I had the fortunate/unfortunate opportunity to sit next to Dani Johnson for an entire month, building business together, and listen to what she said on the phone, how she said it, all that kind of stuff, how many people she talked to. Well, I was doing it on my side as good as I could do. I was pretty brand new in the business, and it was the most uncomfortable month of my life. But I'll tell you something, I learned so much from that month that it served me for the rest of my career. And I tell you, it's really pretty amazing to watch Dani Johnson in just a few hours, literally 4 or 5 days of work, be able to do $40,000 or $50,000 in brand new business. A line of people, you know, off of her desk asking to give you $4,000 or $5,000. It's pretty shocking. So anyway, let me type in the product code for the discount code in here, just the word involve, and that will save you on shipping. And I think we are good to go. Okay, does Dani have a business opportunity? Susan, if you're asking like something that she promotes that she makes money from, no, she does not. She doesn't do a particular business opportunity, and no, she does not. And so that would yeah, that'd be a problem if we were recruiting for a certain opportunity. So no, she doesn't. But if you wanted to know about, if the question is about, does she have an outline for a business, a presentation, then absolutely yes. Again, you can go over to the blog at smarternetworker.com, search great presentation, and we've got a great blog post in there that will give you the outline, as well as a lot of good training right there in the blog post. Plus, we'll point you to some tools, some of Dani Johnson's training on the same exact topic. If you want the full thing on how to do a great presentation, it's definitely an important skill to have in our business. You cannot rely on video training and video presentations. Someone else will do your presentations forever. Someday, soon, hopefully, you'll be actually doing your own presentations. And within 2 weeks of starting a home business with Dani, I was in front of the room doing presentations. It was very uncomfortable, and I totally screwed it up, but I learned how to do it, and that was what was important. So, all right, any other presentations? Let's see, 15th. Okay, yeah, on the 15th. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll be doing this fairly often, hopefully every week or just about every week. We've got one coming up early next week on Dani's 7-step system. And then after that, we're going to have Dani Johnson live on Wednesday night. So be ready for a power-packed what time is the webinar for the Dani on the 15th? Okay, the webinar it will be 7 p.m. Central Time, and you'll be getting all the details in some emails and some posts over at Project 1000 starting on probably Sunday night. We'll open up the registration maybe Monday, something like that. We try not to open that up too early, but it'll be 7 p.m. till 9 p.m. Totally free. This is going to be an opportunity for not only you to get training, but if you're smart, what would you do? Put your team on there, right? And not just people that maybe are in your business, but people that you need to know that, hey, there is good training out there. There is some great stuff going on, and it makes it easier for you. And even if people that are not in home-based business, maybe they're in a traditional business or they have some kind of a job, the skills that Dani's going to teach them on Wednesday will definitely help them in everything you do. So you want to make sure that you get registered for that. And there's no link for that yet. I can't see, it's not showing me who's asking that question, but there's no link for that yet. We'll get that out to you, don't worry. Just stay plugged in, keep an eye on your inbox, in your email, and keep an eye on Project 1000. Those are the 2 places that we communicate with people most directly. And then also you can check out the new smarternetworker.com website. Lots of upgrades and improvements still going on with that, but it's pretty functional right now, and you kind of see the direction we're going. So again, thank you so much for joining us today. I know this is in the middle of the daytime, and if you're watching the replay, we want to say thank you for that. Please send us over, go on over to Project 1000 and give us any comments, any more information you'd like to hear, any questions. We can answer those over there as well. And if you enjoyed it, please go on over to Project 1000 as well and let us know what you thought of it. You guys are awesome. I appreciate your commitment to your ability. I appreciate you getting involved with this training and Smarter Networker. And 2017 is going to be an awesome, awesome year. So have a great day, everybody. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.